Hi, readers. I hope you all have been doing well and practicing self-care. It's your girl, Keonta here. I'm the writer behind Dear Reader, and I am back with episode 2 of the Walking in Your Purpose series. And the title of today's episode is called Visualize Your Dreams. Before we get started, I want to give you guys a quick little side note. If you see me looking down, I'm just looking down at my notes. I want to make sure that I say everything that I had planned to say. And I also want to make sure that the message of today's episode is getting through as clearly as possible. And then for a disclaimer, I am in no way saying that I have all the answers, that I have life all figured out. I'm just saying I have my life so far all figured out. And I'm kind of at the beginning of my journey, especially coming from being a lost soul. And if you want to know what I consider to be a lost soul, go ahead and check out episode 1 of my Walking in Your Purpose series called Finding Your Purpose, where I kind of give you guys a quick little definition of what a lost soul is. But let's get into today's episode. So the goal of this episode is inspire you guys to visualizing and picturing the life that you want, picturing the career that you want. And all the little details in between, I feel like is a very big part of manifesting the life that you want, the life of your dreams. And I feel like if you can see what you want very clearly, and you believe that it is true, it is easier to attain, and it's easier to work towards. So let's start with, in this episode, I want to just give you guys some different things that I have done through just my life experiences that has gotten me to this point. And I hope that it allows you guys to reflect on your lives, or gives you that inspiration, or gives you that aha moment to kind of kickstart you in the right direction if you are currently a lost soul. And this is a no judgment zone. I was once a lost soul for my early 20s, so from ages 20 to 25, and I had no motivation. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I had lost my why and my purpose in life, and I was just floating. So I completely understand where everybody is coming from. So let's get started. So the first thing I would say that is very important when you want to start visualizing your dreams is to declare what your passion, what your purpose, and what that dream is. What do you want to do? And of course, you have to figure that out, which is why you should go check out episode 1 of Finding Your Purpose, where I kind of give you some little tips and tricks that I've used to help me find my purpose. But assuming that you're here and you've already have found your purpose, it's now time to visualize what that looks like for you in your life. So declare it. So say, this is what I want to do. For me, after I had my aha moment that snapped me back into reality and into my own mind and my own body and my own spirit, my declaration of my purpose is I am going to be a published author. I'm going to make younger Keonta proud and do everything that I said that I wanted to do when I was just a little girl. So once I declared it, that already made it real. And once I also shared it with other people, that also made it real, because that means these people are going to hold me accountable to my words and what I said that I am going to do. So declaring your passion is all about just speaking life and reality into your dream. It's making it more real. Sometimes when we're just all stuck in our head and our thoughts, things don't seem real. But when we speak it out into the world and we put that positive energy out into the world, that makes it real. That makes it an actual vibration and energy that we're emitting, right? So speaking it as if you believe it, and you have to believe it. That's very, very important. Is you have to be your number one biggest cheerleader. You have to already believe that you are exactly where you're supposed to be in life, that you already have the success, that you already have the riches, that you already have the recognition, that you're already living in your dreams. You have to believe it so much that it is already there, that it's within arm's reach. And honestly, I never really understood other people when they would say that, like, oh, I already feel like it's here, and, you know, all these great things. I never believed it until I had my moment. And it was a scary moment. And it was a different type of scare that I've never felt before. I've been scared of like, oh, I'm worried. I don't know where I'm headed. I don't know what I'm doing. This type of scared was like, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be at this moment in time. It was a scared of like, I'm proud of myself. It was a scared of like, it's literally right there. All I have to do is grab it. And at that moment, I was not too far along in my journey yet. But the fact that I had just started, which is why I preach that just starting is so, so important. The fact that I had just started made my dream feel even more real, made me 10 steps closer to my dream without me even knowing it. Because we feel like when we're on this journey that it's going to take us so many years to get there. Everybody's journey is different. You may hear someone and it took them 10 years to get there, but for you, it might even take you just 1 year or 2 years or even 5 years, half of the time that it took them to get there. But we won't know how long it's going to take, and we won't be able to see our dream come to life if we don't even start, right? And we want to start with baby steps. So you have to believe in your dream. No matter what nobody says, no matter what you say or tell yourself, you have to believe it as if it is already true. So the first thing is to declare what your purpose, your passion, or your dream is out loud, or write it down, whatever method you feel like is most comfortable for you. The next thing you want to do is reflect. There's going to be a lot of reflection in this process because we are just starting our journey and figuring out what we want to do, right? So we want to ask ourselves a couple of questions to help us to visualize our dream. And believe it or not, a lot of people don't even visualize the type of life they want. I have had plenty of conversations with people talking about how I saw myself in my life, down to what hairstyle, what type of car do I want, what type of, where I'm going to be living at. Like, I can tell you every single detail of what that looks like for me. And I would then ask people like, how do you see your life? Have you ever even visualized what that looked like? And people would tell me, no, I haven't. I haven't visualized what it looks like. And in my head, of course, I didn't say this out loud. I'm like, well, how do you know where you're going if you don't even know what it looks like? How do you know what you're working towards or the steps you need to take if you don't see it clearly for yourself? So to get back to the questions, here are some questions that I feel like could help you to kind of spark. So you can use these questions as journal prompts if you would like, which I think is a really great idea. Writing things down to help you to remember them better, but also can help you to visualize them better. So you can write them down or just have these thoughts or conversations with yourself to ponder on, either or. So the first question that you want to think about is, what does your perfect life look like? That's actually the overarching question, is what does the perfect life look like? If you could have the life of your dreams, everything you wanted, down to the perfect partner, down to your perfect career, down to the type of wardrobe or style you would want, what would that look like, right? So what do you look like? Do you still look like yourself currently? Do you look a couple pounds lighter? Do you have a different type of hairstyle? What are you doing in that life? So what does your career look like? What does your personal life look like? What does your romantic relationships look like, if that is even a part of your dream life or your perfect life? And where are you located in the world? Where do you live? Are you living by yourself? Are you living in a nice high-rise apartment? Are you living in a home that you purchased with your partner and now you have kids? Visualize everything. The sky is the limit and more. I think those are some of the questions that you should ask yourselves. And for me, sometimes you get a little bit excited thinking about those things. And for others, I do understand that you can feel a little bit discouraged, because now that you're thinking and dreaming so big, it's like, well, how am I going to get there? Right? How am I going to get there when I'm all the way on ground zero, level zero? Well, there's only one way, and that's up. You can't go any lower than you are. So it may take you some time, but that's why you have to fall in love with the journey, right? The next thing I would suggest to do after you have reflected and you can clearly see in your mind what type of life that looks like for you, now it's time to affirm your dream. So going back to being your own biggest cheerleader, you have to block out the noise of other people and the naysayers. And not everyone's going to see your vision how you see it. So no one can tell you what is right or wrong for your life but you. We all have this intuition within us that tells us whether something is right or wrong. So if you feel like you're not doing wrong and you're harming to yourself, then you must be doing right. So For me, it's repeating a lot of affirmations as you're on this journey or beginning this journey. I talk about affirmations a lot because they're so powerful in my life, and I use them often to get me out of funks, to bring me back to life. So those are things like, I am going to be successful. I will have the car of my dreams. I will be confident. I will look good. Saying I and putting things in the present tense. Those are so important because this journey is not easy. It is very hard, especially for me. And I'm at the beginning of this journey. I still do get a little discouraged. I sometimes want to fall back into my old ways of just being complacent and being content with where I'm at. And it's those affirmations that snap me right back out of it and put me right back on the path with my feet running forward. The next step that I would say that you guys should do is, now that you have declared your passion, you've reflected on the type of life that you want, and you're starting to visualize it, you are affirming those visualizations and your dreams. Next is to create a vision board. Sometimes having a visual can help you to see it more clearly, depending on, the type of person that you are. Sometimes writing it down isn't just enough. Sometimes you need to actually see what those physical items are. So for me, I've created my vision board on Canva, and I was able to get pictures from like Google or things like that to put on there, and I printed it out, and I'm able to have it posted on my wall. I actually have my vision board, but we're at currently, while I'm filming this, it's the end of December, so I am going to be working on a new vision board. But this is what my vision board looks like, and I created this on Canva of the type of life that I wanted. As you can see, I have the type of car that I want. I have the type of lifestyle and fashion that I want. I have different career paths and things like that. I even have the type of apartment and things. And then I have, of course, some affirmations and things that I can look at that will help to, keep me on the right path whenever I do look at this vision board. So vision boards are very powerful, and there's it's another form of accountability for yourself. And you'll be surprised if you look back at your vision board every year or every couple years to see how far you've actually come. All right. So the next thing that you want to think about when creating your vision board is to not worry about how big or how small it is. The more ridiculous, the better. Shoot for the stars. Shoot for even farther than that. Put whatever you could possibly want in your life on that vision board, because again, that is putting out that positive energy into the world, and whatever you put out is what you attract back to yourself. So if you're putting out positive energy and high vibrations, then that's what you are going to be receiving back. So I would say that's very, very important to remember. And then also making sure that your dreams are aligning with your purpose. So making sure that the things that you're putting down are, of course, attainable, but making sure that you put things on there that align with what your purpose is. So for me, going back to mine, I want to be a published author. So on my vision board, I have some books on here a book on here of just to kind of symbolize what I want to create one day. So I have, social media and how I want to grow on there. And obviously this number is just a start. So just thinking about those different things and making sure to put things on there that align with your purpose, so that when you do go and look back, you can say, hey, I've actually crossed off a couple of these things. The next thing I feel like you should do after you've created your vision board is, now you are ready to start really manifesting your dreams, right? Actually putting in the work. So you want to make sure that you're aligning your thoughts with your actions. That's something that I talked about in episode 1. And then you also want to make sure that you are creating smaller, more achievable goals that will lead you to accomplishing the bigger goal. Just so that because sometimes it could be a little bit overwhelming, the types of things that you're putting on your vision board. You're like, how am I even going to get there? Like, this is crazy. But if you make smaller goals that'll help you to get there, then it'll feel more attainable, so that when you are able to cross those things off, you're like, hey, it really didn't take as much effort as I thought to get there. And sometimes it does, but at least you broke it down into tiny baby steps instead of trying to take a leap. A lot of us try to take the easy way out and think that it's going to be easy. Not all of us come from a background where things are just handed to us. So we have to work a little bit harder, and sometimes 10 times as harder, to get to the same place that it took someone else easier to get to. So in conclusion, I think that's all I have to say. In conclusion, things that you want to remember when you are visualizing your dreams would be: one, to declare your dream, speak it into existence. Two would be to visualize your dream, write it down or create a vision board so that you can see it clearly. Affirm your dream, repeat affirmations while you're beginning your journey to help boost your morale and keep you motivated and determined and hungry for your dream. And then lastly, to start manifesting your dream and be specific about your goals and the things that you want. With that being said, I want you guys to stay tuned for next Friday for episode number 3. And in episode 3, I'm going to be talking a lot about aligning your words with your actions, since you guys have been hearing me talk about that over these past 2 episodes. And also how to hold yourself accountable, or things that you can do to make sure that you are staying on the right track. That is all I have for this episode. Make sure to leave a comment, share with somebody you feel like could need it, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.